So if you guys are in the market for a Porsche 718 Cayman S, then you're definitely going to want to listen up, because this is the most annoying thing about this car. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Lewis, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 things that I don't really like about my 718 Porsche Cayman S. Now before we start the video, guys, I want to let you know that this is an insanely good car, and the things that I'm going to tell you in this video should not stop you from liking the car, nor should it stop you from buying the car, because I've had the most insane week of my life owning that thing, and nothing on the list that I'm going to tell you right now would ever stop me from making that purchase over again. All right, so let's start her up, get her out of this parking garage because the echo is a little annoying, head to another parking garage where the echo isn't so bad, and we can start the list of the 5 things that I don't like so much about my 718 Cayman S. So last time we shot a video like this, I actually shot it right up there, and I got a horrible sunburn, because obviously I was in the top of a parking garage and I didn't put any sunscreen on. So this time we're in a shaded parking lot because the building is blocking us, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on the 5 things that I dislike about my 718 Porsche Cayman S. We're gonna get started on the interior because there's just one thing that really isn't like a dislike. It's more of a, I don't understand why it's like this. Obviously this is a sports car, and this has nothing to do with how it drives or anything, so it's really hard to say that I hate this about the car, but it's just a little weird. I'm going to show you guys, and I'm sure if there are any Porsche owners out there, they may know the reason why it's like this. I don't, and I wasn't able to find anything online, so let me hop in and show you. So when you get in the car, obviously you go ahead and turn it on, and the AC will automatically turn on, which is awesome. But what I noticed the other day is when you shut off the AC, it does this. Why is it that it has a big O, a big F, and the second F is tiny? Is that just like my car? Was my car like built wrong? Or is that every Porsche? If you know the answer to that, please leave it in the comments below, because I would love to know. As I was getting out of the car right now, I just shattered my phone, which kind of sucks, but you know, I'm rocking an old phone. I still have an XS. I wasn't really about the switch up my phone every year life, but I think now I have to go get me an iPhone 12 Pro, which is kind of a benefit because now I can shoot some sick photos for you guys of the car. So I guess it's a blessing in disguise. But let's go ahead and hop into the second thing that I dislike about my Porsche 718 Cayman S. So the next thing that I don't like about the car is actually something that I thought was broken on my car specifically. And that is that when you're shifting down through the gears and you're coming to a full stop, when you get to that first gear, you hear a weird clunking sound through the transmission. So like you'll just be driving, you know, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, you shift it into 1st because you're about to come to a complete stop, and you just hear like this horrendous like clunk, clunk, clunk. And actually one of my buddies drove it, and he said there's definitely something wrong with the car. I was super stressed out, but then I took it to Porsche and they told me that it's absolutely normal. These cars are known for having a clunky first gear. And this is my thought process on it. I've driven other high-end sports cars and they don't have a clunky first gear. Everyone praises Porsche PDK for being the best transmission in the world, yet they have a clunky first gear. Now, it's not the end of the world. I know that the car is perfectly fine. And actually, if you don't shift into 1st yourself, the car doesn't clunk. So no matter what gear you're in, if you come to a complete stop, the car automatically puts you in 1st gear. So I've kind of gotten accustomed to driving the car like that. Now I'll downshift from fourth to third to second, but I won't ever go into first manually. I'll let the car do that itself, and that completely gets rid of that clunky problem. But in my opinion, the car shouldn't clunk in first gear, but I guess it's just a Porsche PDK thing. Honestly, today's just not my day. I was sitting down shooting that clip and probably like 30 ants got on my leg, and now I'm all bitten up. So I think you guys should subscribe to this channel because of what I just went through. So one of my third dislikes for this car is going to be the ride quality, okay? And I know this is a sports car. I shouldn't be complaining. You know, it's not going to be a Mercedes-Benz. It's not going to be, you know, a Lexus. And I wasn't expecting it to be a Lexus. But this car has the stiffest suspension I think I've ever driven in. Like, my best friend has a Corvette C8. And honestly, the car is really smooth. Compared to this rides like a skateboard. I think it's like the best way to explain it. Like, I feel every single bump. And I'm not really complaining. I just think it's exaggerated. I think they could have made it softer. But I will say, if I had gotten a car with PASM, you're able to control that more. So really, this whole dislike means absolutely nothing, except I shouldn't have been cheap and not gotten a car without PASM. So it's just this specific car. I just want to let you guys know, if you are looking for a 718 Cayman S and you want a car with a better ride quality, make sure that PASM is a priority for you, and you have to get one with the PASM system in the car. If you don't care about ride quality, then you don't really need PASM, and you can go ahead and get a car that's not as expensive, because in the used car market, cars with PASM definitely fetch more money than cars without PASM. All right, well, luckily nothing crazy happened to me while I was shooting that clip, so we're all good. On to the next one. All right, so for the fourth thing that I dislike about this car, we're actually gonna have to get back in the car so that I can show you. The next thing that I don't like is the color of the rev counter, okay? So when you're driving on a sunny day, that rev counter basically disappears. You can't see it. When the sun gets into the car, you just can't see it. Now, it does have the orange little tack. You're able to see that. So I've gotten to the point where I don't really need to see the numbers. As long as I can see the tack, I'm shifting around where I need to be shifting. The most important thing for me is I know I have to rev out the car to about 5,500 RPM and then let go for it to do the pops. And if you guys watch my last video, or the video before the last video, then you know I love my pops from this exhaust. So that's the only thing that I've had to like master when I can't see the rev counter. But really, it's not a huge deal. All right, guys, so we've made it to the last thing that I dislike about this car. Now, I know earlier I said that these weren't hates, they're more dislikes. But this last thing, this one last thing, is absolutely a hate, and something that I was not expecting at all from this car. So if you guys are in the market for a Porsche 718 Cayman S, then you're definitely gonna wanna listen up, because this is the most annoying thing about this car, and honestly something I truly do hate. So let's get into it. So once again, we're gonna have to get into the car for me to show you. But the last thing that I hate about this car are these 14-way adjustable seats. Now, let me explain. If you're driving around town for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then these seats are absolutely fine. They're a little bit uncomfortable, but it's nothing you can't deal with. It's a sports car. You know that the seats aren't gonna be as plush as a Mercedes or a Lexus. But if you're driving in this car for more than an hour, these become the most uncomfortable seats I've ever sat in my entire life. And I am not exaggerating, guys. I had a passenger in here for about 6 hours when I bought the car, my best friend Matt, and he was also dying in that seat. We almost stopped and got pillows for our backs because it was excruciating. I drive this car a lot, especially from South Florida, you know, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, back to Orlando. And honestly, the drive I dread driving it because I know after about an hour, hour and a half of driving, I'm going to be in actual pain. I've tried to do everything I can to fix the seat and get it, you know, it has it's 14-way adjustable. So I thought that there would be a way that I'd be able to make it comfy. But I've tried everything. I've looked online, I've looked on the forums, I've talked to people on the forums about making the seats comfortable, and everyone says the same exact thing. These seats are horrible after about an hour of driving. So there are really only two options. The 18-way adjustable seats seem to be a bit more comfortable, but still not great. And the next option, which is what I'm gonna do, is honestly, I'm gonna keep a pillow in the car. And when I take long journeys, I'm gonna just sit on the pillow, kind of crease between the bottom and my back. That's the only thing I can think of to make this car more comfortable. Now, obviously, this car isn't meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be a sports car. So, you know, that's not really Porsche's fault. I'm not blaming them. I just think that there are a lot of other sports cars with comfortable seats. So why couldn't they have done that? Whatever, guys. It's beyond the point. But honestly, the car is absolutely amazing. It was kind of hard to think of 5 things I didn't like about the car. And honestly, the first 4, I couldn't care less. The 5th one, I actually do hate about the car. Would it change my mind from buying this car again or recommending this car to someone? Absolutely not, guys, because most people are gonna buy this car and they're gonna drive it, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at a time. No one's taking, you know, these super long journeys like I am, driving 3 hours every single weekend. So in my opinion, for most people, this issue, the seats, is never going to be a problem. It's a specific issue for me because I drive the car so much and I do long distance driving with it. So next month, mid to late April, I'm actually going to be going on the G-Force rally, which is going to take us from Orlando to Atlanta to Hilton Head through Blood Mountain and then driving it back to Orlando, all in the time span of 3 days. So I'm really going to be able to test out this car and push it to the limits. And obviously I'm gonna have my little pillow on my back and bottom because I honestly just don't think I'd make the whole rally if I didn't. But you guys, that is gonna be it for today. I hope you guys liked it. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more awesome content coming on the Porsche 718 Cayman S. I already ordered my lowering springs. That will definitely maybe be the next video or the next, but I can't wait to get the car lowered. Even though I just talked about ride quality, I'm gonna make the ride quality worse. But like I said, it's a sports car, so it doesn't matter. Make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.